Homebuilder sentiment in September fell another 3 points to 46. This according to the National Association of Home Builders, Wells Fargo Housing Market Index. Nearly 25% of new home prices are discounted. Rising interest rates have caused homebuilder confidence to tank. Persistent inflation is causing higher costs for labor and materials. Higher costs for land are driving up development costs. So, new home builders are caught in a market squeeze. Redfin CEO Glenn Kelman is predicting the biggest U.S. housing crash since the Great Recession. Sensing that home prices are in free fall, home buyers are now pulling back from the market. But, is this just a market correction? Or, is this a housing crash? What does this mean for new home development? What does this mean for the future of the economy? And, what does it mean for the future of the United States? But, before we get into that, please press the like button and leave us a comment below. Please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so that you are notified of upcoming videos. The U.S. housing market is in the midst of a deep recession that could put pressure on the Federal Reserve to ease up on interest rate hikes, a prominent economist warned on Monday. New home builder sentiment sunk for the 8th straight month. The Federal Reserve has aggressively raised interest rates. And the United States now teeters on the brink of recession. Buyers are afraid and they are withdrawing from the market, according to the National Association of Home Builders. New home builder confidence fell to its lowest level in 8 years. The housing market has been in a tailspin for the whole of this year, according to Pantheon Macroeconomics chief economist Ian Shepherdson. September numbers are grim, even before the full hit from the rebound in mortgage rates in recent weeks works through, Shepherdson said in a note to clients on Monday. In short, the housing market is in a deep recession, which is already hammering homebuilders and will soon depress housing-related retail sales, he added. The monthly decline in September was worse than analysts were expecting. The average 30-year mortgage in the United States is now over 6%. The Federal Reserve is aggressively raising interest rates to fight the highest inflation in 40 years. Central bank officials meet on September 20th and 21st and are expected to deliver an interest rate increase of 75 basis points. Some Wall Street analysts actually think that a full point increase could be coming. That troubling signs in the housing market could lead the Fed to rethink its plan, added Shepherdson. The longer and deeper the housing recession becomes, the greater the pressure it will exert on the Fed to dial back the pace of tightening, he wrote in a note to clients. Markets currently price in an 80% of chance of another 75 basis point hike in November, Shepherdson continued. But we think 50 basis points is much more likely, and the parlous state of the housing market is a key factor in our forecast, Shepherdson also noted. The most pronounced slowdown in home buying activity is in the markets that were overheated during the pandemic. The ongoing housing recession shows no signs of abating, said Robert Dietz, chief economist for the National Association of Home Builders. In this soft market, more than half of the builders in our survey reported using incentives to bolster sales, including mortgage rate buydowns, free amenities and price reductions, Dietz added. For the past 5 years, home buyers were typically having to pay over listing price and compete in a bidding war. But now, the average home in the United States is selling for less than its list price. Despite all of the publicity about a housing market crash, home prices are still higher than a year ago. The average home in the United States is now selling for just under $370,000. Buyers just don't have the 40% extra money to put towards housing every month, Fairweather said. A lot of homebuyers had to drop out and go to the rental market instead or choose not to buy that second home or investment property, Fairweather continued. Redfin noted that larger West Coast cities like San Francisco and Los Angeles are sensing the greatest impacts on house prices. When you're talking about a $1.5 million home, that's an extra $1,000 a month towards a mortgage payment, continued Fairweather. In New Orleans there are more homes on the market in his area than in the last 2 years, said President of the Metropolitan Association of Realtors David Favre. Now is still a good time to buy if you qualify for a mortgage because you can always refinance when mortgage rates go back down, said Fairweather of Redfin. If you find a house that meets all your needs and you're going to stay in it for at least 5 years, it's still a great time to buy, Fairweather said. Oddly enough, Fairweather does not think that the U.S. will enter a 2008-style housing crisis. People who own homes right now are in a good financial position generally, Fairweather said. The criteria for getting a mortgage is really high, continued Fairweather. Homebuyers need to consider if they'll still be able to afford their home if they unexpectedly lose their job, added Fairweather. Mark Zondi, chief economist at Moody's Analytics, said, with this backdrop, home prices will soon undergo a correction. Is the housing market crash of 2008 going to repeat itself? That's not what we're gonna have here, Zondi continued in an interview on CBS News. First-time buyers are locked out of the market, unable to afford rising mortgage rates, Zondi continued. At this time last year, the 30-year mortgage rate was 2.79%. Today, that rate is 5.66%. With buyers getting skittish and home sales falling rapidly, investors are waiting in the wings. For hot pandemic boomtowns that were previously juiced up in the West and particularly Mountain West and South to the Southeast, Zondi added. Many of these real estate markets are seriously overpriced. San Jose, California is down 10%. Seattle is down 7%. San Francisco is down 7%. Los Angeles is down 4%. Denver is also down 4%. Boise, Idaho is 72% overvalued. Austin, Texas is 67% overvalued. Ogden, Utah is 64% overvalued. Las Vegas, Nevada is 61% overvalued. Atlanta, Georgia is 58% overvalued. Phoenix, Arizona is 57% overvalued. Provo, Utah is 57% overvalued. A $500,000 home in Boise, Idaho, may see prices fall between 10% to 15%, continued Zondi. Zondi said, I predict that large price corrections in other once hot cities like Charlotte, Phoenix and Austin. Realtor.com said, 1 in 5 homes had their prices slashed, and the median listing price fell to $435,000. The median listing price of a house in the United States peaked in June at $450,000. Homebuilders are having to offer aggressive discounts. Tech layoffs are a primary reason why home prices in technology hubs fell 0.77% from June to July of this year. Over 32,000 people have been laid off from U.S. tech so far this year. Tech companies that boomed during the pandemic are seeing dramatically falling revenue. Tech companies doubled layoffs and hiring freezes in 2022 as compared to 2021. This includes from young Web3 hopefuls to established steaming giants and just about everything in between. Tesla laid off 229 autopilot workers. Netflix cut 300 employees. Coinbase cut 18% of its workers. Robinhood cut 23% of its employees. But, what do you think? Please press the like button and leave us a comment below. Please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so that you are notified of upcoming videos. Please share this video on social media. Thank you for watching.